another edition of Driving Perilously, the show in which we turn on the radio and talk about what it is that we find. This is Route 66. And just when I pressed record, they were saying, don't forget Winona. And I would say that's a very good thing to do. Don't forget Winona. And I think it's very interesting that Winona is not a popular name. And we've got Winona Ryder and Wynonna. So we've got two famous people with an unpopular name. It's kind of similar. I don't know. I find things like that ironic, or not ironic. I find things like that unexpected. Whereas a lot of people are just like, so somebody has an unusual name. Like I just heard about Cinema. And I said to my friends, you mean there's somebody in the public eye whose name is Cinema? And they're like, yeah, what's so weird about that? I'm like, that doesn't strike you as a weird last name? And they're like, oh, it's spelled with an S. I didn't even think about it with the movie theater. I'm like, what? How could you not hear the word cinema and not think of a movie theater? But, everybody thinks differently. So back to Winona. Winona Ryder was the hot thing for people my age for a couple years. Then she got in some trouble, and then she played Spock's mother, so that cemented her in Star Trek history. And she's back. Never really went anywhere. I would say, if there's not already a biography of her entitled Don't Forget Winona, there will be, don't you think? So that's the Route 66 song, one of many versions of it. I would love to be traveling down some highway with the top down. If I was not thinking about money and stuff like that, job, buying a car, and where am I going to move, and am I going to make any money with the acting stuff, and stuff like that. My car has been acting up since I got it. That's not true. My car's been acting up for, I don't know. It seems like it's been undrivable for a year and a half. But then it goes right back to being just fine, and so I don't fix it. Or at least I can't find, when I take it to the mechanic, they can't find the problem because it works fine. Except once or twice a day. It seems like it's gonna be never able to run again. Anyway, let's see what we've got on the radio.
Let's go.
Had to be you. So that is Barbra Streisand, and I don't know, is it Seth MacFarlane maybe? Or is it Michael Bublé? I don't know who it is. But don't we just love our Barbra Streisand? That, of course, is Legends 100.3. Paula Abdul. I think it's very interesting how Paula Abdul has stayed in the public eye without having any more hits. Now, we're not going to say that she is a Barbra Streisand level vocalist, but when you put a track behind her that's danceable, and when she is singing a hook, why hasn't she done more of those? Her hits are still played, so it's not like everyone's come to the conclusion that she's unlistenable. She's still in the public eye, not as much as when she was making hits. But, so how come she hasn't continued to do it? And how is she still, I don't know if she's exactly a household name, but how is she still known without making hits? It's very interesting to me. And I don't think she's gone off into acting. You know, she's done the celebrity judging thing. But it seems to me like she'd have to do a little more stuff than that to still be as known as she is. But there you go. The vagaries of the press, the vagaries of the fame business. I mean, you just don't know.
Those types of contemporary topics into the framework as additional resources that students could use.
Wow, I just have become, I don't want to say spoiled, but I've just become accustomed to the Great American Songbook and the way that they sing. And they're not singing at the extremity of emotion. They're not getting to the end of the song and getting louder and louder, higher and higher, and like screaming their guts out or displaying their soul. They're just singing, and they sound good, and the words make sense, and isn't that nice? I guess that means I'm getting old. I don't know. I would like to think it means that I have taste, and that there are other people in the world who think a singer should sound good.
Legends 100.3.
And that
it's Taylor Morgan.
Some trends are going to last more decades than others.
For maybe your grandparents or your parents. It's called Snug Safe. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's an app for people who live alone.
Oh.
And it checks in on you every day just to make sure you're okay.
That's a good idea.
So how it works, it's
I'm
free.
sure that's existed for a while. All right. So, a little autobiographical information. I was shopping for a car today. Almost bought a huge truck. The price was right, but the truck was not right. Too much gas. I don't know what the math would be if you get a good deal on the car and a bad deal on the gas before it starts being an economic decision. But it's just ridiculous to spend that much in gas. So I didn't get the truck. I have the table read for Newsies tonight. We've been working on Jungle Book for a month, but you know, not every day like we're going to be working on for Newsies for the next month. So I've got 2 things in the pipeline. Work is agreeable to let me off whenever I want, which I don't think they would have done if I had actually been honest with them and told them that. And every day I think I need a new car and I'm going to be walking, but we'll see. So that's Dick Robinson, the Society for the Preservation of the Great American Songbook, started by Dick Robinson and Vic Damone. Every time I hear Vic Damone, I'm impressed with his baritone and interpretive skills. But also Steve Lawrence and Keely Smith, Ella, who I've known about for decades. Dinah Washington. Wow. They've even been playing a little Sam Cooke. haven't heard before. Frank, Dino.
Light up your heart.
It's just good stuff.
Coming to the Kravis Center March 7th through the 12th. Get tickets at kravis.org.
All right. See if we get one more comment.
Light up that traffic.
Back to this imaginary person that never like who would say that what they're learning doesn't have value, and all of them to a person had loads of things that they learned and that they took away from this.
I was just talking about Kenny Loggins the day before yesterday. There was a song of his that I knew, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, that's the theme song to such and such a movie." Completely forgotten about that movie. He had so many movie songs. Good for him. I don't know what he's been up to, but I was not aware of that one. So when Footloose came out, the movie, I think it was 1984 maybe. So it was my high school years, those formative years. I went to a small church, which the Footloose story centers around a small town with a strong church. I didn't really have a small town, but you know, there are parallels. Then the musical we did, stage musical we did a couple years ago. I was affected by that movie because one of the themes of the 80s was religious hypocrisy and bad girl isn't necessarily bad. The bad boy isn't necessarily bad. You know, the big cultural change that took place from, let's say, 1970 to 1990, where people could wear what they wanted without being defined morally. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch Barbara Walters interview Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is dressed in that clip. Yeah, they had several interviews, so you have to find this one. But she's dressed in that clip with bright colored makeup and big hair. And Barbara Walters says, well, how come you don't want people to take you seriously? Well, you know, I'm making her sound worse than she did. But, you know, why do you dress like that if you want people to take you seriously? And Dolly's like, oh, I can dress however I want. And, you know, nobody's going to tell me how to dress. And if you look at them, Barbara Walters, who was the symbol of professionalism at the time, and Dolly Parton, who was dressed like a tart at the time, have switched places in the culture. Now, the way Dolly was dressed back then doesn't make anybody think that she's a loose woman. But Barbara Walters looks completely dated in how professional women were dressing at that time. And Dolly Parton's look, that's just have become totally accepted. And people dress like that now. Or at least they're not afraid to be gaudy. They're not afraid that they're going to be seen as a streetwalker. They just, our whole culture just moved in that direction. And everybody wears what they didn't used to wear because they used to care about their reputation and their moral perception, and now everybody divorces those two topics. You can wear whatever you want. It doesn't mean you're acting in an immoral way. That just has changed. It used to be that what you wore did tell people what your morals were like, and now what you wear doesn't have a thing to do with it. So there you go. Who won that culture war? Not Barbara Walters. So that's it for this video. I feel we're all over the place, but I also want to just keep content coming. I don't want to wait more than a week in between videos. I don't foresee a time when other people will care about these episodes that are so off the cuff, but something for me to look back at. I was watching China Phillips Baldwin talk about her YouTube channel and how it took off when it was episodic, and then it's become a little more just chatty, but it's probably more watched than it ever has been, I would guess. I don't know.